Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Craig's Kitchen Conversations, and today I'm going to broach three topics that all link together. The first topic is your rates bill. Rates will always go up. I'm sure everyone understands that. Inflation, cost increases around projects that need to be done, infrastructure, rates will go up. But I believe the role of a mayor and the council is to make those rate increases as minimal as possible, not throw in any ridiculous taxes like the climate one and other little ones that get thrown in for targeted rates at times. You do start to question. There is a place for targeted rates. There is a place for lifting percentages for that infrastructure, as I said. But when we have giant leaps based around valuations that don't seem to match up to services that you get, we need to start asking questions about how the rates is formulated and are we actually using the right equation to do so. So as mayor, I'm going to sit down with those whiz kid accountants and start to nut through it on your behalf and let you know the different solutions that we are starting to come up with, because at the moment it just doesn't seem right. However, there's two little points I want to link into this rates, because what slows down a rates increase if we remove the infrastructure requirements, maybe getting some more debt to build some of that kind of stuff or some of the targeted, how do we keep those percentages down? We remove inefficiencies. Now, that's a fairly broad brushstroke, isn't it? Just saying we're going to remove inefficiencies. Where do we do that from? I know there have been some big ticket items that have had a massive expenditure reduction done recently by council. I believe it's things like software or IT, and I think there might have been something about phones, and there was also something with insurances. So some big ticket stuff that really any basic sort of home budgeting person can go through and match and analyze and get different prices and work out what you're going to get for your money, and you know what I mean. There's one that never gets spoken about, well, I always speak about it, but no one else seems to, is where our inefficiencies are for me, is in our contractor system, our preferred contractor system, the procurement system. And that's why I'm sure of those of you who have followed me a lot know I've been very vocal and making a lot of noise about the preferred contractors system. It needs a complete overhaul. Now, if we can stop the ticket from being clipped down and down and down to different subcontractors on jobs, if we can stop the need for contractors to come back and do secondary, third, fourth repairs on the same job, if we can stop having contractors travelling across Auckland to do tasks when there's locals to do it, we've suddenly removed inefficiencies. We need to create a system that networks, that creates a honeycomb, a web of local contractors that meet local needs to the requirements that we demand as a paying customer. So we've got to make sure that locally we find these contractors. If they don't meet the grade we require, we help them get there with a warrant of fitness system. Now that links in to the third part of this little conversation, the local boards. And again, those of you who have been following me know how much I want to change the way local boards work. Really what I'm saying there is we need a legislative change to give them more power. We need a process change to get them more involved in the community, and we're going to hand over some more work. And part of that work is being involved with the local contractors. And then if we get all that ticking along right, suddenly we're not spending what we believe to be as $1 billion a year on maintenance and works around the city. If we can drop a few $100 million of that out, if we can get rid of that by utilising the local boards, getting local contractors to work locally, support local, buy local, then suddenly at the end of this chain, we don't have to increase the rate so much because we're not shelling out extra money where we shouldn't be. Now, I'm sure you know that I've ranted on a few times about projects I've seen or you've seen around our city, and we've questioned, how much did that cost? We need to get sharper on that as well. Now, whether that's a local board job where they're going out and comparing and asking genuine questions like you and I would if we were getting a builder and a plumber and an electrician, and we go, how much? Comparing mechanics, whatever it is. You do the due diligence, due diligence. Geez, can't say that fast 10 times, can I? We do our homework and we make sure we're getting value for our money. We make sure we're getting a good job cost effectively. Inefficiencies in our budget removed. Also, on top of that, we've got to make sure that we don't go spending where we don't need to be, which is what I've often said about focusing on core services, the necessities over niceties. If you need a new television, then you go get a new television. Okay, if you need a new fridge, if you need a new washing machine, you go do it. You don't just decide that you need a 70-inch QLED, state-of-the-art LED television just because you think it might make you feel good, or the people who are visiting might like to watch the sport on the big TV. That's not how a council should operate, just like in a house. So, back to those three before I digress too much. We solve a big part of the rates increases by controlling the inefficiencies, and the majority of that is in our contract maintenance system. We completely overhaul that with the help of the local boards. And there's one little extra step I'm going to put in that local boards. I will find someone who is either a former local board member, an existing local board member that has been incredibly successful in their local boards doing what they do, and in the mayoral budget, in the staff that the mayor gets, I will subcontract that person in because they already know how the local board works, what more power they require, how to make sure they stay accountable, how to make sure we get transparency through it so that, buddy down the road doesn't get all the contracts when mate up the road could do a better job for a better price. All that needs to be monitored. So I will bring in someone. There is an existing staff member in Auckland Council that's meant to oversee the local boards, but this one's bigger. I want this person to go in and help change the legislation of local boards, help create this local contractor network. You see what I mean? We need someone to do that, and who better than someone experienced with local boards? So that's what we'll find, but that's in due course. For now, all you need to know is the way I will help keep the rates down is by solving our inefficiencies with contract system, getting our local boards to work in with that, and then all that stuff just goes, it's so lovely, isn't it? Vote Craig Lord for mayor, and let's make this happen. Bye-bye for now.